Welcome to the first ever episode of Jacob Thinks He Can Cook, the show where I try and make something delicious off the top of my head. In this episode, I'll be making my favorite meal of the day, breakfast. My plan is to make a simple egg, cheese, and ham breakfast sandwich. So, let's get started. So we've got a few things here. We've got a homemade English muffin, salt and pepper, a delicious red sauce, cream cheese, seasoning, an egg, milk, and butter. We've also got ham, cheese, and onions. Our pan is just over here, heating. We've already oiled that with just a little bit of oil. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to mix up our egg. So, here we've got our mug, and we are going to crack one egg into it. Okay, so we've cracked one egg into our mug. Now we're going to add just a dash of milk, a little pinch of salt, pinch of pepper, and a little bit of butter. This helps add a lot of really nice flavor. We've got all of those things in. Now, we did add salt and pepper, but we're going to add a touch of this Lowry seasoning. It's a really nice seasoning. It gives a lot of nice flavor. So, we're going to go ahead and mix that up. Now that we've got that out, our pan is heated. We're going to set those aside for now. And we've got our spatula here, and now we've got our egg. The pan is ready, so we're going to go ahead and pour in our egg. We're just going to... So we're going to be cooking this egg omelet style. And what that means is that we won't be scrambling it or moving it around. We're just going to let it sit just like this and cook in the pan. Then we'll fold it over and it will set inside our English muffin. Speaking of our English muffin, the next thing we want to do is we're going to cut it. We're going to need to let it thaw a bit. How we keep these fresh is we freeze them. And when we're ready to use them again, we pull them out and we thaw them, and they are delicious. So this one right now is not quite thawed, but cutting it will help it warm up a bit, and the power is out, so we're gonna have to toast it on the stove, but that's okay, that's not too hard. Okay, right now all we're working on is our egg. Okay, I've moved the camera a little bit. Now you can see the egg. As you can see, we're just cooking it omelet style. Very simple. I'm going to fold that over just like that. That wasn't the best omelet fold in existence, but it's okay. Look at that, a gorgeous golden brown. That's looking great. So next thing that's going to go in this pan is going to be our ham. We're going to almost toast that a little bit. Our English muffins, we are going to just hold over and try and thaw them a little bit, which hopefully should work fairly well. Get this thawing. So we've got ourselves a small plate. We're going to go ahead and just plate up this small omelet. Now, we're going to just drop in our ham. So what we're doing with this is we want to move it around, and we want to sear it a little bit, but we still want to keep it moist and not dry it out too much. So making sure we keep that on the middle, not up on the sides. Keep it on the oil so it doesn't stick. Flip that over. You can't quite see it from up there, but there is a little bit of golden brown searing on that, which is delicious and exactly what we want. Okay, so these are doing pretty well. We're going to move that to the plate as well. It's a very, very short, quick sear on these. Now, we're going to come back. We're going to grab a little bit more butter and drop it in the pan. Brilliant. Now let's move this around, spread it all around the pan, make sure that's spread well. Now we're going to go ahead and toast our muffins. Now, part of this process is also thawing the muffins, so it's not going to be perfect. Now you see we've got the egg and we've got the ham. So remember, I did say this was Jacob thinks he can cook, not Jacob can cook. So one thing I forgot is I completely forgot to add our onions to our omelet. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. We're just going to drop a few in. I've cut half an onion here, but we don't actually need that much. Just need a little bit. Just like that. Okay, brilliant. Something to look just like that. We're going to keep it all on one side. And then the great thing about this is that we don't actually need the entire area of this. This is, in fact, going to fold anyway in the sandwich. So now we've got a little bit of something like that. Now, in order to secure those in place, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our cheese down in the middle, and that's just going to melt right around that egg. That egg will just create an oven and just kind of melt that. So we're going to set this over to keep the heat in. We're going to set that aside. Okay, so we're done with our milk. We don't need our Lowry's anymore. Let's check up on our muffins. So they're definitely looking better. They're still a bit warm on the inside. They're a bit soft on the inside. So we're just going to let those sit for a while. So for our muffins, a few things we're going to need. We're going to need a little bit of butter, indeed. And we're going to need our cream cheese and our red sauce. Okay, so those are thawing out. Let's check up on our egg. So our egg is here. You can see that the cheese has indeed started to melt. And that is perfect. That's exactly what we want. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our ham and we're just going to lay it in on one side, and then we'll flip this and lay it in on the other. So now we've got our ham, we've got our cheese, we've got our egg, we've got our onion all in the same place. So what we'll do when it comes time is we'll just set this inside the English muffin. Again, we're going to recover this and keep it all nice and warm. Okay, brilliant. One more check on our muffins. They have actually thawed brilliantly. So we're going to go ahead and bring them over. Actually, we're going to toast them a tad bit longer. We're going to bump up the heat and just sear the very front of them. Okay, that is pretty good. We can go ahead and turn off our skillet. We won't need continuous heat anymore. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our butter. Alright, we're going to spread it on one of our muffins, just like that. Okay, and then we're going to set our other muffin on top. And those are going to melt that. Now we're going to bring back our egg, okay? And we're just going to use our tongs. And now the skillet still has a little bit of heat, so we're going to go ahead and pick our egg up. Well, I'm going to check that everything is still inside. I'm going to fold this over and fold the egg over and keep it all inside. Just pick it up with our fingers, actually. Just pop it on our skillet. Just try and warm everything. Just reheat everything. Okay, that's doing what it needs to do. Now, we come back to our muffin. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to pop open our cream cheese. Now this is delicious homemade cream cheese. It's not very salty, it's not very sweet. It's a very nice balance. We're going to spread a generous amount on either side. It's a really nice flavor to have in there. And it will just really add to the sandwich. Okay, we've got our cream cheese on. We're going to take a little bit of our red sauce and just spread it on each of our English muffins. Perfect. So, those are both ready. We're going to plate the bottom one, keep the other one off to the side. Now we're going to come back here. We're going to use our spatula and just scoop up the egg, drop it on there. Then, take our other English muffin, drop it on top. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A nice breakfast sandwich. Well, viewers, we've got a delicious breakfast here. A simple breakfast sandwich and a nice cup of coffee. Let's try it. Okay, so we're going to give our sandwich a taste. We've got eggs, onions, cheese, ham. A lot of things in here. Yeah, that is absolutely delicious. The cream cheese is nice. The red sauce gives a little bit of spice. You could definitely add more if you wanted it. But this is my first time trying this recipe, so I just put a tiny bit. But I would say, from the top of my head, that's pretty decent. Yeah. That's delicious. Lost an onion. Okay. That is absolutely amazing. Swig of coffee. Oh, of course, delicious. Spring Valley. What do like Spring Valley coffee? Need I say more? Yeah, for my first attempt, that is really good. Thank you for joining me on Jacob thinks he can cook. I will see you next time where we make a ramen bowl. Bye.